I was a rising MMA fighter with everything to lose. 8 years of sweat and sacrifice led me to this championship shot. My wife Amanda, once my biggest supporter, had been acting strange for months. Late-night texts, new passwords, excuses that never added up. The day the league announced my opponent Ryan Maxwell, my heart sank for reasons nobody knew. Not because I feared fighting him, but because I had discovered something that would destroy both my marriage and focus right before the biggest fight of my career. Before I tell you how I discovered my wife's betrayal and what happened in that ring, let me know where you are watching from in the comments. Hit that subscribe button if you want to hear how I turned the biggest betrayal of my life into my greatest victory. Fighting was always my escape. Growing up in Detroit, with 4 siblings and a single mom, I learned to defend myself early. By 16, local trainers noticed my raw talent at the community center. My path from amateur bouts to professional MMA came through relentless discipline and countless injuries. I met Amanda during my early career at 30 wins, 6 losses. She worked as a nutritionist at my gym in Denver, always with a bright smile and genuine interest in my progress. Unlike the women who approached me after fights, Amanda cared about Jorge, the person, not the fighter. She challenged me intellectually about my nutrition and recovery protocols. Our first date lasted 7 hours at a quiet coffee shop. Within 6 months, she moved into my modest apartment. 2 years later, we married in a small ceremony with my mother's siblings and closest friends from the gym. Amanda looked radiant in her simple white dress, and I truly believed we would conquer the world together. Those first 3 years were beautiful despite the struggles. My winnings barely covered our expenses. Amanda picked up extra clients while I trained. We supported each other through setbacks and celebrated small victories. When I qualified for bigger promotions, Amanda was my rock, managing my diet and keeping me mentally focused. Everything changed last year when Coach Marcus secured me a title shot with Premier Fighting Championship. Suddenly, media attention intensified and bigger sponsorships followed. We moved to a nicer neighborhood, leased better cars. Amanda decorated our new house with enthusiasm, finally enjoying the fruits of our shared sacrifices. The first warning signs appeared 6 months before my championship fight. Amanda started attending networking events without me claiming they were important for her growing nutrition practice. She bought new clothes, changed her hairstyle, and spent hours at the gym on her own. Her phone became an extension of her hand, always facing down when not in use. My training partner Tyler first voiced concerns after spotting Amanda at a restaurant with a tall, athletic man. When confronted, she explained he was a potential business partner interested in her launching a supplement line. The explanation seemed reasonable, especially with our improved financial situation. Still, small things bothered me. Amanda stopped watching my training sessions. Our intimate life dwindled as she claimed exhaustion from building her business. When the league announced my championship opponent would be Ryan Maxwell, a cocky newcomer with an undefeated record, Amanda reacted strangely. She dropped her phone when the news alert came through, then quickly left the room, claiming a client emergency. That night, I woke at 2 in the morning to find her side of the bed empty. From our bedroom window, I watched her pacing in the backyard, speaking intensely on her phone. When she returned, she claimed insomnia and anxiety about my upcoming fight. I pretended to believe her, but doubt had firmly taken root in my mind. The truth revealed itself in fragments, each more painful than the last. 3 weeks before the fight, I borrowed Amanda's laptop to check flight information for my mother. A notification popped up from an unfamiliar email account. My finger hovered over the message preview, showing words that turned my blood cold. Last night was amazing. Cannot wait until he leaves for Vegas. I knew I should respect her privacy, but my instincts screamed something was wrong. The email contained intimate details that shattered any denial. Worse still, the sender signed off with R. My mind immediately connected to Ryan Maxwell, but it seemed too coincidental, too cruel of a twist. Instead of confronting Amanda immediately, I decided to gather more evidence. I installed a location tracking app on our shared account, claiming it was for safety during my training camps. The following Tuesday, Amanda said she was meeting clients across town. The tracking showed her at Hotel Indigo downtown, a location that meant nothing, until I discovered Ryan was staying there during Denver training sessions. At the mandatory pre-fight press conference, I saw Ryan in person for the first time since learning of my suspicions. Tall, tattooed, with perfectly styled hair and an arrogant smirk, he represented everything I was not. While I answered questions professionally, Ryan made strange comments about Denver having beautiful sights worth exploring thoroughly. When asked about his preparation, he smugly replied, "I know Jorge inside and out already. I have insights into his personal situation that will give me the edge." The moderator moved on, but Ryan winked directly at me, a gesture that confirmed my growing suspicions. That evening, I contacted Samantha, an old friend who worked at Hotel Indigo. She hesitated when I asked if she had seen Amanda there. Her silence told me everything. Before she reluctantly admitted seeing Amanda visit Ryan multiple times, always staying for several hours. Samantha apologized profusely, explaining she wanted to tell me sooner but struggled with betraying both confidentiality and potentially destroying my marriage. I needed to see for myself. I told Amanda I had an overnight training camp in Colorado Springs. Instead, I parked across from Hotel Indigo in a rental car with tinted windows. At 7:30, Amanda arrived wearing a dress I had never seen, carrying a small overnight bag. The front desk greeted her with familiarity, no questions asked about which room. She knew exactly where to go. Through a combination of determination and the help of a sympathetic security guard who recognized me, I gained access to the floor surveillance feed in the security office. The cameras showed Amanda entering room 1214 using a keycard, immediately embraced by Ryan at the door. They kissed passionately before disappearing inside. I sat in the security room, numb and shaking as my world collapsed. I considered storming upstairs, breaking down the door, and confronting them. Part of me wanted to destroy Ryan right there, consequences be damned. But the rational part of my brain, the strategic fighter, knew that revenge required patience and planning. I left the hotel without confrontation, driving aimlessly for hours before checking into a motel under a false name. That night, lying on a lumpy mattress staring at water stains on the ceiling, I experienced emotions more intense than any fight. Rage burned through my veins alongside crushing disappointment. 8 years of marriage, the sacrifices we both made, all betrayed with the one person I needed to defeat professionally. The coincidence seemed too cruel to be random. Had Ryan targeted Amanda specifically to gain an advantage? Had Amanda sought him out because of his rising fame? Either scenario felt like a knife twisting in my heart. By dawn, clarity emerged through the pain. This fight was now about more than a championship belt. It represented my self-respect, my future, and justice for the ultimate betrayal. I would not give either of them the satisfaction of seeing me broken. I would transform this pain into the most focused training of my career, and I would systematically dismantle Ryan Maxwell both professionally and personally. I returned home the next morning with a carefully constructed mask of normalcy. Amanda was making breakfast, acting as if nothing had happened. When she asked about the training camp, I fabricated details about techniques and sparring partners. She kissed my cheek and mentioned she had dinner with her girlfriends the previous night. The casual lie from those same lips that had kissed my opponent hours earlier made my stomach turn. "Your scrambled eggs are perfect today," I said, forcing myself to eat. "Despite the nausea, almost like you had practiced making breakfast recently." She missed my implication entirely. "Just trying to keep your protein intake optimal before the big fight." For 2 weeks, I maintained this charade while implementing my plan. First, I consulted with attorney Gabriel Franklin, known for handling high-profile divorces discreetly. He advised me to gather financial records, document the affair, and prepare for a clean break immediately after the fight. The championship purse would be significant, and timing was crucial to protect my assets. I redirected my training with an intensity that alarmed even Coach Marcus. When he questioned my sudden change, I revealed everything. Marcus had been more father than coach to me for 10 years, and his reaction validated my pain. He adjusted my training schedule to channel my emotional state, productively focusing on controlled aggression and stamina. "Use the pain as fuel," Marcus advised during our private sessions. But remember, unfocused anger makes you vulnerable. Ryan will exploit emotional reactions. Beat him with technique, not rage. Amanda noticed the change in my training intensity. She attended sessions more frequently, now watching with a concerned expression. Was it guilt or worry that her betrayal might actually improve my performance? Twice she suggested I might be overtraining, that perhaps I should rest more before the fight. Each suggestion confirmed my suspicions that she was subtly sabotaging my preparation. My investigation continued discreetly. Hotel receipts showed Ryan had booked the same room for 6 months, coinciding with Amanda's business meetings. Their affair predated his selection as my opponent suggesting opportunism rather than strategy. Phone records revealed hundreds of text messages between them during times she claimed to be working with clients. 10 days before the fight, we attended the mandatory media day together as a couple. Ryan arrived with his entourage, strutting confidently through interviews. When our paths crossed in the green room, he extended his hand with a smirk. "May the best man win," he said, his emphasis on man unmistakable. I gripped his hand firmly. "I intend to take everything that belongs to me." Confusion flickered across his face, uncertainty whether I knew about Amanda. I maintained eye contact until he looked away first. Small victory. The night before departing for Las Vegas, I packed 2 suitcases. One contained my fight gear. The other held everything I valued that could fit in luggage. I had already secured a new apartment and transferred my important documents to a separate safe deposit box. Amanda prepared a special pre-fight meal, acting the supportive wife. After dinner, as she washed dishes, I calmly spoke the words I had rehearsed. "I know about you and Ryan." The plate she was washing slipped from her hands, shattering in the sink. She stood frozen, not turning around. "I have proof of everything," I continued. "Hotel records, text messages, witnesses. After the fight, our marriage is over." She turned slowly, tears already forming. "Jorge, it was a mistake. It means nothing. Ryan pursued me for months. I was weak." "Please, save it," I interrupted. "You had chances to come clean. Instead, you continued sleeping with the man I need to fight while pretending to support me. That shows who you truly are." Her tactics shifted rapidly from denial to justification. "You were always training, always focused on fighting. Ryan made me feel wanted, desired. This lifestyle, all the pressure. You never understood what it was like for me." I grabbed my packed suitcase. "I understood sacrifice and partnership. You understood neither. I will be staying with Marcus tonight. When I return after winning this fight, I expect you to be gone." As I walked out, she switched to pleading. "Please, Jorge, we can fix this. 8 years together has to mean something." I paused at the door. It meant everything to me. "That is why this hurts so much." Goodbye, Amanda. Fight day arrived with crystal clarity. I woke in Marcus's guest room with unusual calmness. The media portrayed this as my career-defining moment, yet they knew nothing of the true stakes. My pre-fight ritual proceeded without deviation. 2 eggs, plain toast, meditation, light stretching. Marcus remained by my side, a silent guardian, ensuring no disruptions. The arena buzzed with 18,000 spectators. Backstage, final preparations unfolded methodically. Hands wrapped physical checks, cleared final instructions from officials. Marcus kept journalists at bay, protecting my mental space. My phone contained 30 text messages from Amanda, each unopened. Walking toward the octagon, noise faded to background static. I spotted Amanda immediately 4 rows back. Instead of her usual position by my corner, she sat nervously beside Ryan's head trainer, Jordan Cook. Their association now obvious to me, though invisible to everyone else. Her presence neither distracted nor motivated me. She had become irrelevant to the task ahead. Ryan entered with his trademark showboating, playing to cameras and fans. His entrance music blared while supporters chanted his name. Physically impressive at 6'3", his reach advantage was significant. His undefeated record of 14 victories included 11 knockouts. The betting odds favored him 4-1. The referee called us to center ring for final instructions. Ryan maintained his cocky smirk, bouncing energetically. I stood completely still, eyes locked on his, noting how he struggled to maintain eye contact. Behind the facade of confidence lurked uncertainty. He knew I might know about Amanda. This psychological edge would prove valuable. Round 1 began predictably. Ryan attacked aggressively, throwing powerful combinations designed to end the fight early. I adopted a defensive posture, absorbing some blows while studying his patterns. His right hook telegraphed slightly. His left knee exposed his balance point. Each weakness cataloged for later exploitation. The crowd misinterpreted my approach as hesitation or fear. Between rounds, Marcus wiped blood from my eyebrow. You see it, everything I confirmed. He drops his right when setting up the hook. Gets frustrated when countered twice consecutively. Perfect. Remember the game plan. Weather the storm, then execute. Round 2 continued similarly until the midpoint. Ryan landed a solid combination that pushed me against the cage. Confidence surging, he made his critical mistake. As he loaded his signature right hook, I ducked under and executed a perfect counter connecting with his liver. His eyes widened in shock as pain registered. I followed with a combination we had drilled hundreds of times specifically for this opening. Ryan stumbled backward, his previous confidence evaporating. For the first time in his career, he faced an opponent who had identified his weaknesses and possessed the skill to exploit them. I pressed forward methodically, not with blind rage but calculated precision. Each strike dismantled not just his physical defenses but his mental composure. By round 3, the momentum had shifted completely. Ryan gasped for air between desperate attacks. I caught his tired leg during an attempted kick, swept his supporting foot, and followed him to the ground. Ground and pound created the opening for an arm triangle choke. Ryan resisted briefly before physics and exhaustion forced submission. The referee pulled me off as Ryan tapped frantically. The arena erupted. Underdog victories always energize crowds, but few understood the deeper victory achieved. Marcus lifted me onto his shoulders. As officials announced my championship win. During my interview in the octagon, the reporter asked about my strategy. I studied my opponent thoroughly, I replied, glancing toward where Amanda sat stunned. I learned exactly how he operates, what he truly values, and what he was willing to sacrifice. That knowledge made victory inevitable. Confusion crossed the reporter's face at my cryptic response, but I offered nothing more. The post-fight press conference passed in a blur of questions about technique and future defenses. Throughout it all, I maintained professional composure, never hinting at the personal drama behind the victory. Amanda attempted to enter the locker room afterwards, stopped by security per my earlier instructions. Through the door, I heard her pleading for access, claiming spousal privileges. Marcus handled the situation while I showered and changed mentally, preparing for the final confrontation. Upon returning home the following day, I found Amanda waiting on our front porch surrounded by boxes. The locks had been changed as arranged. Her eyes were puffy from crying, makeup smeared across her face. "You cannot just throw me out," she protested. "This is my house too." I placed the championship belt on a box beside her. "The property is in my name. Your personal items are all here. The rest we can address through our attorneys." "Is this about the money?" "The championship money I deserve. Part of that, I supported your career for years." Her voice carried across the neighborhood, attracting curious glances from neighbors. "This is about consequences," I replied calmly, handing her an envelope. "These are divorce papers. My attorney will contact yours. The sooner you cooperate, the more generous the settlement." She tore open the envelope, scanning documents with disbelief. "You planned this whole thing." While pretending everything was normal, "I learned from the best," I replied, entering my home and closing the door behind me. The subsequent weeks brought predictable drama. Amanda launched a social media campaign portraying herself as the victim of a vindictive husband. Ryan, nursing both physical injuries and damaged pride, avoided public comment. Mutual friends chose sides based on partial information. Through it all, I maintained silence, focusing on healing, both physically and emotionally. 6 weeks after the fight, Amanda appeared at my gym during a training session. The security guard, uncertain about the situation, allowed her through. She approached, as I finished sparring, falling dramatically to her knees in the center of the training mat. "Please, Jorge," she begged loudly, ensuring everyone could hear. "I made one mistake. You have made your point. We can fix this. I love you. I have always loved you." The gym fell silent. 24 fighters and trainers watched this unexpected scene unfold. I helped Amanda to her feet, leading her to a private office away from spectators. "This performance is unnecessary," I said once we were alone. "The divorce proceeds regardless." "You humiliated me," she cried. "Everyone knows why you kicked me out. Ryan will not even take my calls now. My clients are canceling. You destroyed my life over one indiscretion." I looked at the woman I had once loved beyond reason, now unrecognizable in her selfishness. "No, Amanda. You destroyed our marriage with months of deliberate deception. Actions have consequences. I have accepted mine. Now, you must accept yours." She left without further drama, finally understanding the finality of my decision. That evening, for the first time since discovering the betrayal, I slept peacefully through the night. 1 year has passed since that championship fight changed everything. The divorce finalized 6 months ago, with Amanda receiving a settlement far smaller than she anticipated. My career continued its upward trajectory with 2 successful title defenses. The story of personal betrayal eventually faded from public interest, replaced by new scandals and controversies. The healing process proved more challenging than any physical recovery I had experienced. Therapy helped process the anger and trust issues that threatened to define my future relationships. Reconnecting with family and friends neglected during my marriage provided perspective and support. New hobbies outside fighting created balance previously missing from my life. Ryan Maxwell never regained his previous standing in the league. Our fight exposed technical weaknesses that subsequent opponents exploited. Last I heard, he moved to a smaller promotion seeking to rebuild his reputation. We never spoke about Amanda, though mutual acquaintances confirmed their relationship ended immediately after my victory. The unexpected blessing came through reconnecting with Samantha, whose warning had ultimately saved me from years of deception. Initially, meeting for coffee to thank her properly led to friendship based on genuine respect and honesty. 6 months ago, that friendship evolved into something more. Unlike Amanda, Samantha values integrity above appearances and supports my career without seeking to control it. The lessons from this painful chapter proved invaluable. I learned that victory extends beyond professional achievements to personal integrity. Walking away from betrayal, despite the temporary pain, ultimately brings freedom impossible to find in false reconciliation. Trust must be earned continuously, not assumed based on past commitments. Most importantly, I discovered resilience within myself previously untapped. The same discipline applied to fighting serves equally well in life's personal battles. Pain, properly channeled, transforms into growth. Betrayal faced honestly creates opportunity for authentic connections. For those facing similar challenges, remember that your response to betrayal defines you more than the betrayal itself. Choose dignity over vengeance, growth over bitterness, and honesty over comfortable illusions. The path forward exists, though it rarely appears immediately through the pain. What betrayal have you overcome that ultimately made you stronger? Share your story in the comments below. If this journey resonated with you, please hit that subscribe button and like this video. Your support helps others find stories that might provide guidance during their own difficult times. Thank you for listening, and remember, sometimes the greatest victories happen outside the ring.